Hey everybody, failed entrepreneur back again for morning meeting. Just woke up, got my coffee, fired up the camera. It's nice and hot. Camera and the coffee. It's great content. And one of the benefits of social distancing, get to sleep in a little later, make some videos before I got to do my work online. This is awesome. And today, I want to talk about yesterday, Bernie Sanders finally read the writing on the wall and dropped out of the Democratic nomination. I don't know why, but many people are glad, I guess, that he did. So Bernie Sanders, interesting guy, very, very popular. Probably shouldn't be. Guy's super old. He's got his little Vermont accent. He's kind of a character now, I guess you could say. Failed presidential run against Clinton, of course, in 2016. You could say he got robbed. He probably got robbed. He's an independent who just happens to run as a Democrat when it's convenient and then switches back to his independent party. He's a self-described socialist and fan of communist dictators. This guy should not be where he is. Does that make sense? Bernie Sanders is like the Eugene Debs of the 21st century or something. The guy who just keeps running for president, hangs around, doesn't really go anywhere. It's just kind of famous for, if you don't, if first you don't succeed, try again, right? So, no, he finally bowed out yesterday, and this is, I don't know what is the worst defeat if you're a Bernie fan or Bernie bro, 2016 or 2020, right? I mean, think of it, I guess, as a sport analogy, right? I mean, maybe Clinton is like your hated rival, and to lose to a hated rival in the fourth quarter with some shady ref calls would definitely leave a bitter taste and a sting in your mouth if you were a fan. But in 2020, I mean, you know, your old rival, that superstar retired or something. That team's not what it used to be, and now you got the lead, in first three quarters or something like that. Oh, I don't know. You have at the end of the third quarter, you got a great lead. You're coasting to victory. I guess we're playing basketball now, and then all of a sudden, kind of like you just had a total meltdown in like the last 12 minutes, and this is like not just a game. This is like game 7 of the finals or something like that. That would hurt just as bad. So I'm curious which one hurts more, but man, what the heck happened to Bernie Sanders? I know what happened to Bernie Sanders, but man, what the heck happened? He had it in the bag. Look at all. Well, I'll get to that later. What happened is, of course, Joe Biden and some Democrat politicking when the establishment, I think, was starting to freak out that Bernie Sanders was looking to run away with this. Obama still holds tons of weight. I know just from reading some of the news, he is not a fan of Bernie Sanders at all. And I'm not saying he coordinated this behind the scenes, but it's just if Obama's not a fan, and Democrats don't like what he's selling because they know it's a loser. No, your average American's not voting for a communist, even though he's not. That's what he'll be branded as. Talking about Castro doesn't help in a presidential election. It will never, ever, 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 ever happen. So they had to do something to stop this guy, and it just so happens that I guess they made the call. It was going to be Joe Biden because the DNC loves their establishment guys. And so right before that South Carolina primary, this is what, end of February, beginning of March, that's when it was. You saw just like dominoes, everyone finally, they hadn't done it before, finally, boom, 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 dropping out of race. Klobuchar and Buttigieg and Tulsi Gabbard stayed in, bless their heart. But everyone drops out, and then just Joe Biden, Joe Biden, Joe Biden, and that kind of gave him a boost when he was on total life support. And he ended up winning that South Carolina primary. Probably, I think, because Bernie Sanders wasn't going to do well anyways, but the endorsements definitely helped. And then just like that, everyone snaps back to Biden, and that I guess was it. That was it. Two-man race, and your average Democrat probably, I don't know. I don't think they hate Bernie, but they maybe know looking forward he's not going to win a general election. And so it's just funny how everyone snapped back to Biden. And then after that, Bernie just kind of had his knees cut out from underneath him, and he was distant second place, just like that. Whiplash, how crazy quick that happened. And it's really not anything that Joe Biden did or Joe Biden said. It's just, I think the higher ups just kind of crowned him, coronated him, like I guess they did Hillary in 2016. Maybe some parallels there or history repeating. And he never did anything afterwards. He still was campaigning and he still had some long shots going forward, but he never really had any of that mojo back. And that's surprising, especially given the circumstances we're in now with the corona pandemic, big government kind of forcing or helping, or however I guess that's how you view it. But there's a lot of socialist policies we kind of have to do out of necessity now, right? Your Trump bucks. Again, Yang is a big loser here because his knees got cut out from underneath him because now the government is just giving everybody checks out of necessity, right? That's kind of Bernie Sanders' platform a little bit. He would like to take that money from those rich corporations instead of the government, but it's just like there may not, who knows, there may not be any corporations to take from because of the way we're going. And everyone's sick in the healthcare system. We need everyone to get tested, and it's just this is a lot of what he was talking about. And I thought that maybe this might benefit him, and people would wake up and be like, "Oh, this is what he's taught. Oh, okay, well, it's not so bad when we're actually living in it, and maybe he could get some votes off of that." But the problem is the pandemic also makes it hard to do rallies. It makes it hard to get out and vote. And so I think, even though it may have been the social distancing and stuff we're living through may have been what's the word? I can't think in the morning. Jurisdiction, qualification. It'll come back to me at the end. What's the word? I'm gonna pause the video, look it up, and come back. I'm not gonna justify. That's not a justification. Let's just go with that. Of his policies. That's great content. It just never materialized into votes, into primary wins, and so there was really no reason for him to hang in the race, except if something happened to Joe Biden, right? But even if it did, I don't think the Democrats would just okay, well, I guess Bernie's our number two, so now he's in charge. But had Biden don't wish this, but had he maybe gotten sick with the COVID-19, or maybe if Biden just is really not well and can't run a race, I think he was maybe hoping that if maybe something happened to Biden, that he could maybe kind of step up in that vacuum because there was like literally nobody else running. Even Gabbard has dropped out by now. But I guess that seemed to me the only reason why he was hanging in as long as he was. There's no chance of a contested convention. That would have been entertaining to see, but the DNC knew that also would have been a disaster, and I think that's why real quick, everyone fell into line behind Biden. And so Bernie's back where he is again, on the sidelines, having a little taste of what it's like to get close to the White House, and it just didn't happen. So it sucks to have your candidate lose in a campaign, especially when they were doing so well. Don't think he had any chance of winning the general election. But the irony, of course, is a lot of his policies aren't exactly, we're not copying and pasting them, but we are kind of embracing those. Maybe the country has more of a mindset where we will be welcoming to some of those government assistance programs that Bernie talks about so often. And hell, we may even get them anyways. So maybe Bernie's irrelevant now, but like long term, depending on how things shake out. But it's just interesting. He's an interesting character. Like I said, it's hard to hate hate Bernie Sanders. Like Hillary Clinton is easy to hate, and many people do, right? But Bernie's kind of a nice, old, likable grandpa, uncle kind of guy. You may not like his policies, and that's fine. You can like someone and not hate them. But he always seemed like a nice guy. You got to give him one. He has his convictions and he stands by them, no matter the consequences, and that's something that's very respectable. Don't we wish all politicians would really, really, plant a flag in the ground and stick by it through thick and thin, and die on that flag and all? That'd be great to see, and Bernie Sanders definitely does. So again, I'm not a fan of his policies per se, but it had to happen sooner or later, I guess. And so he is gone, no more. And again, unless something happens, it looks like it's a Biden-Trump runoff, if we even have an election. We will. Don't worry about that. We had one in the Civil War, for crying out loud. But Biden versus Trump, I think I know who's going to win that election. Again, who knows? I mean, these are screwy times. Anything can happen. Anything did happen. But, I wonder if I think I made a video on this earlier, if they maybe, the DNC picked the wrong person, and maybe a little buyer's remorse on Joe Biden, and maybe they should have went with someone maybe a little more younger, a little more vibrant, a little more coherent. I don't know who that would be. If not, say, maybe a Buttigieg, I think. But anyway, make your bed, you sleep in it, you sleep in that Biden bed, and we'll see how you like it. So, kudos to you, Bernie. Sayonara, though, and go switch your D to an I and get back to work to get us all healthy and safe. All right, I got things to do. I know you do too. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.